Now, this is College Football Game Night.
Touchdown, Raiders!
Welcome to another week of College Football Game Night. We've seen lots of great matchups today, and we can't wait to get into those highlights. I'm Peyton Manny.
And I'm Madison Marie. Before we get into those highlights, though, we have something to show you. Our high school football plays of the week from last night that we didn't get to.
But first, let's check out our Week 5 winner. With 94 votes, this week's plays of the week winner is
David Brown. Eagle Point's David Brown breaks it up the middle and gives a little shake and bake for a 50-yard run. Brown surpassed the 200-yard mark in last week's game for the second time this season. He also scored 3 touchdowns.
Such a great play. Brown has been unstoppable this season, and while it is hard to pick a winner, it was even more challenging to pick the best plays from last night.
Hey, it's a good thing that we have 3 spots to fill, right?
Right about that. We start this week with Gold Beach. Jake Westerman will take this one past the defenders. He finds an open slot, and he's all the way into the end zone. House call for the Gold Beach Panthers. That's a Panthers touchdown.
This next play comes courtesy of the Challengers. We had to shift through 11 scoring drives in this one, but Brody Sample takes the cake and takes this one all the way. 50 yards to the house. Challengers win big 82-0 and move to 6-0 for the season.
But we're not done just yet. The last play comes courtesy of Shaw Stork and the Hornets. The senior somehow makes escaping that sack look easy and makes the Pelicans pay. 30 yards to the house. Take that victory lap, young man. You earned it.
As always, go vote for your favorite on our website, kdrv.com, and we continue our weekly duties with announcing our favorite thing.
Fridays would not be the same without our game of the week. To kick off week 7, our game of the week will be at
Crater High School. The Crater Comets are taking on the Eagle Point Eagles in a head-to-head battle.
And I'll be on the call, joined by a special guest who may or may not be on the SOU Raiders. You'll have to wait to find out. And speaking of the Raiders, they had a game today at Raider Stadium against the Montana Western Bulldogs.
Coming off a 42-14 win against Eastern Oregon last weekend, the Raiders are riding a high. And in those 42 points the Raiders got on the board, freshman running back Gunnar Yates scored 21 of them. That
standout performance from Yates earned him the honor of being named Offensive Player of the Week. Let's see what Yates brings to this Raider offense.
A 2022 Coquille graduate, Yates scored 3 touchdowns last Saturday at Eastern Oregon. He netted 91 rushing yards on 13 carries, which makes him the first Raider since 2019 with multiple rushing touchdowns in a game, and the first since 2018 to score 3 touchdowns in a game.
Impressive to say the least. He ranks 3rd in yards per carry with 5.6 and 7th in rushing yards per game, coming in at 58. A young and humble leader, Yates gave his team the credit for his performance.
You know, we did our thing on offense and the defense stepped up and did great. Our special teams had a big play in it too, but I think all of the respect goes to the O-line and the defense. Just got the ball and the O-line did their thing and saw a gap, hit it. Blake, he had a good throw. Then again on the third one, the O-line just pushed me in and we got it done.
The freshman star and the Raiders had a packed stadium today taking on the Bulldogs. The atmosphere is always so fun at Raider Stadium, and you can tell how much the fans love watching some Raider football on a beautiful Saturday.
There's nothing like college football day, game day, and before we break down the game by halves, let's get a quick recap of the full game.
Well, Madison, coming into today's game, the Raiders had an overall record of 2-3, but as you mentioned earlier, they were also coming off a huge road win, and road wins are sometimes hard to come by.
Yes, they are, and the Bulldogs were 3-3 overall with a loss from Rocky Mountain last week. The Raiders played the Battling Bears in their first game of the season and lost to them as well.
Right, but it was a close game, and I think it's safe to say that the Raiders have come a long way since their first game.
It just feels good. I feel like we've been pushing and we're close, and we always preach Kaizen and continuous improvement, but we finally came together on offense, defense, and special teams against a good football team. And give them credit, returning conference champions, player of the year in the conference is back, and they came out on fire, and to kind of say, okay, we didn't let that bother us. We went about our business and, stretched a separation lead there in the first half and kind of took it from there. So really proud of our coaches and our players as well.
And with all that being said, the Raiders beat the Montana Western Bulldogs today in their first win at Raider Stadium. This will put the Raiders at an overall record of 3-3 heading into another bye week before traveling to Montana Tech on October 22nd.
Coming up next on College Football Game Night, we'll deep dive into the first and second half of the Raiders' win and see how the Raiders played on both sides of the ball. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
College Football Game Night, presented by Quality Fence of Southern Oregon.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Breakfast served daily until 2 p.m. Breakfast burritos, biscuits and gravy, skillets, omelets, and more. Sweet Tea Express. Don't get caught hungry.
Hi, I need new tires.
Perfect timing. Right now, during our tire savings event, when you buy 3 tires, you get the 4th for only $1.
Wow, that's a great deal.
Right? Can you imagine finding a tire for less?
Sorry, honey. Mama needs a tire.
No, definitely not.
No.
Let's get you those tires.
Okay.
Right now, during our tire savings event, buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Toyota Service Centers. Keep your Toyota a Toyota.
They're an expression of you. They reflect your sense of beauty and elegance. They're gateways into your world, providing both charm and peace of mind. Let our experts design and create the ornamental iron fence that expresses the personality of your home or business. Visit a Quality Fence showroom today or online at qualityfenceco.com.
The CDC recommends that people get a flu vaccine before the end of October, so you're protected before flu season is in full swing. The vaccine is given by injection or nasal mist. It takes about 2 weeks for the antibodies to develop in the body and provide protection. Experts say everyone aged 6 months and older should get a flu vaccine every year, with few exceptions. Talk to your provider or pharmacist to find the vaccine option that's best for you.
It's the final days of the Reopen Fire Sale at Golden Gems Fine Jewelry on the Plaza, downtown Ashland. Over $1 million in inventory is priced to sell, and everything must go. Diamonds, wedding sets, earrings, pendants, diamond rings, watches, and more. Everything must go. But hurry in for the best selection during the final days of the Reopen Fire Sale, only at Golden Gems Fine Jewelry on the Plaza, downtown Ashland, or at goldengems.com.
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Burgers, salads, sandwiches, barbecue platters, sides, and more. Smoked, grilled, and served to perfection. Sweet Tea Express. Breakfast, burgers, and barbecue.
Welcome back to College Football Game Night.
Welcome back to College Football Game Night. Let's get into the good stuff, the highlights from today's game. Starting in the first half, the Raiders dominated. Madison, the whole first half belonged to the Raiders.
I'm so excited to show you these highlights. Let's go.
All right, first quarter deep dive, here we go. 12 minutes in the first quarter, the Bulldogs with a little flea flicker action, and QB1 John Junn finds his open receiver for the Bulldogs touchdown. Bulldogs lead 7-0, but Blake Asciutto finds Christian Graney for the 71-yard touchdown reception. Score is tied at 7. Skipping to the second quarter now, Asciutto with the toss to freshman Offensive Player of the Week Gunnar Yates for another Raider touchdown. The Raiders will lead 14-7. Bulldogs with the ball now. Junn looks to pass on this next play, but Jake Regino says, yeah, not on my watch. And Regino gets the interception for the Raiders. Still in the second quarter, Asciutto finds Raiden Kaneshiro for another Raider touchdown. Raiders lead 21-7. The Bulldogs hold the Raiders to a field goal, but even then, no one is safe. Cesar Ruiz hits a 41-yard field goal to add. The Raiders score 24-7 now. Next play up, time winding down in the first half. Asciutto finds Graney, and Graney's covered, but he jumps up for the catch and grabs it, showing off his speed. Graney meets the end zone again for another Raiders touchdown. Raiders head into halftime with a score of 30-7, and Coach Hall said his players responded well after going down a touchdown in the first.
You know, just the game plan comes into play. You know, I mean, they had a nice trick play, if you will. You know, I mean, I think they're going to challenge your defense. And when you're on the road and you're playing a formidable team, you know, which they gave us, they did that because I feel like they respected us. They're going to need something to get them, you know, kind of to get over the hump a little bit from the long trip and whatnot. So just you know, there was you know, we don't panic, you know, things like that happen. And our players did a great job of kind of responding and just staying with the game plan. And they did a great job of executing that.
Madison, the first half of that game alone was 30-7, and that was a statement. And I think the Raiders needed to make this statement on the Montana Western Bulldogs because it shows that SOU can compete, and they've got their name written on the second half of this season.
And not only did they make a statement in the first half, but in the second half as well. So let's check out those second half highlights for the Raiders. Third quarter, Bulldogs with the ball in scoring position. John hands it to Reese, and Nivelle finds the end zone for another Bulldogs touchdown. Score now 30-14. Raiders still lead. Blake Asciutto once again says, no need to worry, we've got this. Asciutto finds Sayer. Cleveland up the middle, and Cleveland puts the Raiders up by 22 with a score of 36-14. Into the fourth quarter we go. Raiders in scoring position. Sophomore Ben Rash gets the snap and hands it off to none other than Gunnar Yates. Yates finds the end zone, and the Raiders lead now 42-14. Next play up, Raiders in scoring position. Asciutto hands it off to Adric Lamar, and Lamar drives to the end zone for another SOU Raider touchdown. 49-14 Raiders, and that'll do for the Raiders in the second half. The final score out in Ashland, 49-14 Raiders. This is the first win at Raider Stadium for the Raiders, and the man in charge of the offense, Coach Brown, told his guys that he was a 0-0 game at halftime.
Yeah, you know, it's good to see. Obviously, our history has been a little bit of, you know, finishing games or starting, you know, one halftime thing. So that was absolutely, you're spot on with the message. At halftime, it's a 0-0 ball game. You know, there's a lot of football left to play. Can we, you know, never too high, never too low. Can we reset right here, focus in on my job and chip away at this thing? And I thought they did a nice job. We came out and unfortunately stalled out on our first drive. The defense played well right there, and we got the momentum back. It was a big time play or drive right there. The second one we had in the second half there to steal this momentum back and really roll from there.
Peyton, this game was all SOU all day. I know there are so many plays that you could pick from, but what was your favorite one that you saw today at Raider Stadium?
Madison, the Raiders played so well on both sides of the ball. I mean, touchdown after touchdown, an interception from Jake Regino. It was so hard to pick just one play that really stood out. But I have to say, from the performance that Christian Graney put on today, my favorite plays are coming from him. Let's see him. Blake Asciutto stays cool, calm, and collected on this play, steps back to pass and finds Graney on the side. Then it's just a foot race from here on out, and you don't want to be in a foot race with Christian Graney because chances are you will lose. This play was a 71-yard touchdown reception for Graney and the first play of many. Next play up looks similar to the last one. I guess Graney was just in the mood to run today. Asciutto finds Graney and he'll take it up the sideline for another touchdown reception. A record-breaking day for Graney. He is that guy.
I think after seeing those highlights, my favorite play was the interception from none other than Jake Regino in the first half. We all know this guy is a standout performer on the defense. I mean, he does it all. The Bulldogs with the ball on this play. John Judd steps back to pass, but he doesn't have an open player. Guess what? He has Jake Regino. Regino with the interception, helping get his team the ball back, which eventually leads to another SOU touchdown. Another great performance from Regino and the SOU defense today.
We're just getting started here on College Game Night. Stick with us because coming up, we'll look into another night game out in California.
College Football Game Night, presented by Quality Fence of Southern Oregon.
Quality Fence is doing it right for you.
Whether it's residential, commercial, or industrial, chain link fencing is the all-purpose standard in providing security at an affordable price. And today's chain link offers you more variety, value, and durability. Get great ideas at qualityfenceco.com. Quality Fence in Roseburg, Central Point, and Grants Pass.
Quality Fence is doing it right for you.
At Wild Birds Unlimited, we know you enjoy feeding your backyard birds. But sometimes those pesky squirrels and other critters can put a damper on things. That's why we offer a variety of hot pepper bird foods. Birds love them, but squirrels and other critters, not so much. Stop by our store to learn how to keep the critters away from your bird feeders with our hot pepper bird foods, and how you can attract more beautiful birds to your backyard. Wild Birds Unlimited. We bring people and nature together.
Leave your mark. Serving the greater Rogue Valley for more than 20 years. Your hub for pavers, retaining walls, gravel and sands, synthetic lawn, flagstone, landscaping rock, water features, and other hardscape supplies.
We can show you how to do it or refer you to a licensed installer.
Open 7 days a week, located at 4631 South Pacific Highway in Phoenix. Find us on Facebook and Google. Are you ready to leave your mark?
Clean, dry, fast. Crater Car Wash now has 4 locations to serve you. F Street and on the Redwood Highway, Grants Pass, Crater Lake Highway, and our newest location on Court Street, Medford. Join the Unlimited Wash Club, just $20 a month. Download the Crater Car Wash app from the App Store or Google Play and get a free premium wash just for signing up. Now with 2 Medford and 2 Grants Pass locations to serve you. Crater Car Wash. Clean, dry, fast.
You take pride in doing things yourself. You use only the best materials and products, and always seek the best values and advice. Quality is a reflection of who you are. That's why all your fencing projects begin here. Surround your home and family with nothing but the best. Surround yourself with quality. Visit a Quality Fence showroom today or online at qualityfenceco.com.
Welcome back to College Football Game Night.
Aside from the Raiders, the 2 other Oregon teams are playing night games, and the Ducks are in the hot desert of Arizona to take on the Wildcats.
But preparation for this game wasn't a breeze. Head coach Dan Lanning said prior to today that this Arizona team is getting into a rhythm.
And the 12th ranked Ducks are facing one of the best receiving corps Oregon has faced all season long. And if history has said anything about this game, it'll say that the Ducks and Wildcats are always a tough matchup. And it's been a while since Oregon has won in Tucson, since 2011.
But the Ducks have won 7 of the last 10 matchups. Safety Bennett Williams says during the week of preparation, Dan Lanning treated it very similar to 2 weeks ago when Oregon played Washington State.
So that's who I kind of compared him to. Different a little bit in the way they scheme things and, you know, their aggressiveness down the field, right, rather than a ton of screens and stuff like that. But it'll be a lot of tackling in space that we got to do. So we've been working on that.
The first half of the Ducks season might have been difficult, especially traveling across the country in their first game of the season to face the defending national champs. But the second half is going to be just as tough.
One thing's for certain, you can't sleep on any team. And this Arizona squad has one of the best passing games in school history. And last week, they're trying to duplicate that again tonight.
And the current score of tonight's game is 42-13 in the third quarter right now. Kickoff was at 6:30 p.m. So far, Nix has 243 passing yards, and we'll have the highlights on this game tonight at 11.
Well, the game isn't over quite yet. Let's deep dive into the first half. Heading into the half, Bo Nix went 10 for 11 and threw for over 100 yards. 141 yards, He also is showing off his skill on the rushing side of the ball. We start in the first and 10 with a little less than 3 minutes left. Nix hands it off to Noah Whittington. He scrambles past the line, finds the open backfield. Oregon Ducks on the board first. And Caden Lewis's kick will be good. 7-3, Ducks up. Now a few minutes into the second. On this next play, 2nd and 10. Once again, we got Bo Nix stepping back to pass. He has some time in the pocket, checks out the field a bit, boom, right to the red zone. He connects with Chris Hudson. Hudson down on Arizona's 2. Nix goes on a run for this one for 2 yards and a touchdown. After that play later in the first half, 2nd and goal on the Arizona 3. Muleki Motive runs it in 3 yards, a touchdown and a good kick. Oregon up big heading into the locker room. Oregon teams check. Coming up on College Game Night, we'll dive into Pac-12 play from today.
College Football Game Night, presented by Quality Fence of Southern Oregon.
It's the final days of the Reopen Fire Sale at Golden Gems Fine Jewelry. Over $1 million in inventory must go during the final days of the Reopen Fire Sale on the Plaza, downtown Ashland, or at goldengems.com.
The industry-first 2-in-1 removable agitator from Whirlpool gives you 2 ways to wash. Jeans, in. Sweaters, out. Towels, in. Comforters, out. You decide. Whirlpool.
Ashland Appliance and Mattress. Come see us at our new location in the Ashland Shopping Center.
There is no better time than now to join CASA of Jackson and Josephine County and give back to your community. Sign up for a virtual orientation today. As a CASA volunteer, you will be the eyes and ears of the court and speak solely for the best interest of children and youth.
My CASA was there for me when no one else was. Call or email today to learn more. CASA of Jackson and Josephine County. Be a child's voice.
The CDC recommends that people get a flu vaccine before the end of October, so you're protected before flu season is in full swing. The vaccine is given by injection or nasal mist. It takes about 2 weeks for the antibodies to develop in the body and provide protection. Experts say everyone aged 6 months and older should get a flu vaccine every year, with few exceptions. Talk to your provider or pharmacist to find the vaccine option that's best for you.
This is John. He's not very good at painting. But when it comes to HVAC, John's a real pro. And so are the rest of the team at Caveman Heating and Air. Caveman Heating and Air is working with the Energy Trust of Oregon and Bryant to do whatever it takes to keep you comfortable this season with a new Bryant system.
I'm the dude, and I say it's the climate, and we control it.
The industry-first 2-in-1 removable agitator from Whirlpool gives you 2 ways to wash. Jeans, in. Sweaters, out. Towels, in. Comforters, out. You decide. Whirlpool.
Ashland Appliance and Mattress. Come see us at our new location in the Ashland Shopping Center.
It's the final days of the Reopen Fire Sale at Golden Gems Fine Jewelry. Over $1 million in inventory must go during the final days of the Reopen Fire Sale on the Plaza, downtown Ashland, or at goldengems.com.
Welcome back to College Football Game Night.
From one night game to an even later Oregon State game, Oregon State is out at Stanford to take on the Cardinal, a team that the Ducks faced just last weekend.
But the Beavers faced a tough Utah team last weekend and left without a win. Last week's game was a second loss in a row for the Beavers, and they are still without a win in Pac-12 play.
This one wasn't a fun one. Cameron Rising threw for nearly 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. He added 73 yards and a score on the ground. But that's not all the Utes did. Utah forced 4 turnovers, the first time Utah has done that in a game since UCLA in 2016. Chance Nolan left with a neck strain, so Beavers' third-string quarterback threw for 177 yards, but 2 interceptions. Clark Phillips III intercepted Nolan twice in the first quarter alone. A Hawkeye, to say the least. He became the first player since Julian Blackman in 2017 to have multiple interceptions in the same game. And despite rolling up 417 yards with 21 first downs, the Beavs couldn't pull it off.
The offense, that was definitely the biggest part. I mean, I think we had 3 turnovers in the red zone, 2 in the end zone. I mean, you just can't have that as an offense if you want to win against good teams like that. So, I mean, we shot ourselves in the foot all day. So, I mean, this one's on us.
Well, a new week started on Monday for a new chance to win. The Beavers went back to their playbook to prepare for Stanford.
Oregon State knew going into the Stanford team the interception throws had to go, but similar to the Beavers, the Cardinal are looking for their first conference win of the season tonight as well.
To recall your memory, the Beavers snapped an 11-game win streak by the Cardinal last season in Corvallis. But this week, quarterback Chance Nolan was dealing with a neck strain injury, and his status for today was up in the air.
So if not Nolan, then Ben Gulbranson will be under center. Still head coach Jonathan Smith knows the Beavers have to stop turning the ball over, which they've done so 8 times in the last 2 games.
It comes down to some execution of the positions we put them in. And if it's not getting executed, it starts with the coaches. You know, you get up here and like, oh, this player should have done this and we should have done that. We're choosing the situations they're going to be put in. And so I don't know if I'm going to go with a laundry list of almost all the critical errors.
So tonight's game is all about Oregon State's passing game versus Stanford's defense. The Beavers have thrown 4 interceptions in back-to-back games.
But if the right pass is made, wide receiver Trayshawn Harrison is one of the Beavs' most reliable targets. He's 16 for 251 yards in the past 3 games.
Kickoff was just a few minutes ago and the current score is 0-0, still in the first, and as always, we'll have an update for you tonight at 11.
And now looking forward to next Saturday, the Beavers are up for a tough competition against Cam Ward and the Cougs at Washington State.
The Cougars were in Southern California tonight to match up with the number 6 ranked USC Trojans. So coming off a competitive ranked team, the Cougars are going to have to get ready fast for Oregon State. Washington State's starting quarterback Cam Ward has 1,445 passing yards on the season. The Beavers will have to watch out for running back Nakia Watson and receiver Donovan Ollie.
Wazoo is good in the air and on the ground, so this is going to be a great game to watch out for next weekend. Kickoff time is still undetermined, but one thing's for sure, the Beavers will be at home in Corvallis, and that's always a scary sight.
Coming up next, we're going to check out all those other matchups you might have missed today. We'll be right back. You're watching College Football Game Night.
College Football Game Night, presented by Quality Fence of Southern Oregon.
Quality Fences, doing it right for you. Just ask your neighbor.
They reflect a style as unique as you are. They make first impressions. They provide space, add lasting beauty, and security. Quality is a reflection of who you are. That's why all your fencing projects begin here.
Quality Fences, doing it right for you.
The heart and soul of any home is the kitchen. The Kitchen Company in downtown Grants Pass is all about helping you create the perfect kitchen. Shun. In the spirit of the legendary swordsmiths of Japan, each knife still handmade today. Shun. Every artisan bread needs an Emile Henry bread baker. For over 150 years, Emile Henry. From the beginner to the gourmet chef, you are in good company at the Kitchen Company, downtown Grants Pass.
The We're Hiring page on KDRV.com connects local job seekers with job openings. Master Brand Cabinets in Grants Pass is hiring manufacturing positions starting at $18 an hour. Master Brand's fast-paced manufacturing environment provides a comprehensive compensation and benefits package. For tremendous opportunities for you to grow in your career in a safe and clean work environment, apply today. Check out these and other current job openings at kdrv.com/hiring today. The Grapes and Grub Passport Card. Enjoy 15 beverages or bites, valued at $225. Yours for only $49.99. The Newswatch 12 Grapes and Grub Passport Card. Good for 1 beverage or bite of up to $15 per location. Passport card valid at participating establishments like Devitt, Cliff Creek, Relic, Anchor Valley, Edenvale, and more. Available at kdrv.com/deals. On sale now.
Fresh seafood is right around the corner at the Wharf Fresh Seafood Market and Eatery. Our wide selection of seafood is wild caught and served fresh to order daily. Enjoy live music in our newly renovated outdoor seating area with a heated patio and walk-up bar. Family owned and operated, serving the Rogue Valley for over 15 years. The Wharf Fresh Seafood Market and Eatery, bringing the coast home to you.
Welcome back to College Football Game Night.
Welcome back to College Football Game Night. Week 6 of Pac-12 play kicked off today, and we start with a ranked matchup.
2 Pac-12 teams ranked. What a better way to start the day. The Utes were in LA today to take on the unstoppable UCLA Bruins.
The Utah Utes were in Bruin territory taking on UCLA, and the Fighting Bruins were ready to go. First quarter, Dorian Thompson-Robinson keeps it and takes it in for the 7-yard touchdown, 7-0 UCLA. Heading into the second, DTR completes it to Jake Bobo for the 7-yard touchdown, 14-3 UCLA. Third quarter, DTR completes it to Cam Brown for the 5-yard touchdown, score 21-10 UCLA. Third quarter still, Cameron Rising takes it, and he is in for the 6-yard touchdown, and the Utes complete the 2-point conversion, 21-18 UCLA. Third quarter, DTR finds Jake Bobo again. Now in the fourth, DTR completes it to Logan Loya, who takes it 70 yards for the touchdown, 35-25 UCLA. And he's going to take it all the way in. Still in the fourth quarter, Cameron Rising fumbles, and Jalen Davis recovers and takes it down to the 1-yard line for UCLA. And the final out in LA was 42-32 UCLA, and some UCLA stats from the game tonight. DTR with a great game with 18 of 23 completions for 299 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Zach Charbonnet had 22 carries for 198 rushing yards and 1 touchdown. Utah had 2 turnovers and 479 total yards in today's game, while UCLA had 1 turnover and 511 total yards.
Wow, another day of me picking the wrong team. What a dominant performance from the Bruins today. And another underdog, if you would call them, took down a ranked team.
The number 21 ranked Washington Huskies were in Arizona to take on the Sun Devils and left with quite the sunburn.
A sunburn indeed. Number 21 Huskies facing a losing Arizona State, jumping into the second quarter. Washington up 10-3. Valladay for ASU runs for an 11-yard touchdown. We're tied at 10. Next play, Trenton Burgett finds his go-to man, Valladay again, this time for 14 yards. ASU in the lead. Now Huskies trying to punch back. Phoenix Jr. throws, and nope, it's picked off. Hey, the end zone called. It wants the ball back. ASU up 24-10. Just wait to see that play later. Now in the third, Cameron Davis escapes, 4-yard run, and Huskies touchdown. Washington still in this game, but ASU says not so quick. Burgett finds Brian Thompson, 38-yard gain on the play. ASU will go to rush for 1-yard touchdown on the next one. Washington again fights back. Cameron Davis runs for 1 yard, 38-31 State. Final quarter, Davis again, he'll pick up 5 yards and a core, tying this game, but not for long. Sun Devils take this one. And the final out in Arizona, 45-38 ASU. The ranked Washington team takes their second loss. Trenton Burgett went 15 for 21 with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Phoenix Jr. throwing for over 300 yards, but it's not enough to pull off that win. Sun Devils get their first win in Pac-12 play.
A back and forth battle that whole game. Impressive finish for the Sun Devils though. Well, the Cougs at Wazoo took on the number 6 ranked USC Trojans today.
Cougs were in LA too, a tough Coliseum to try and pull off an upset, but that didn't stop them from trying.
3rd and 16 at the Washington State 38. Caleb Williams' pass is complete to Mario Williams for the 38 yards for a USC touchdown. And the PAT from Dennis Lynch is good. The Trojans will lead 7-0. And after Williams is sacked by Armani Marsh for a loss of 5 yards, Dennis Lynch sinks a 31-yard field goal to put the Trojans up 10-0. And first and goal at the Wazoo 4, 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Travis Dye runs it in for 4 yards for another USC touchdown, and the PAT is good. It took 11 plays to get there. Aiden Sleep Dalton punts it for 46 yards, and the Trojans grab it down at the Wazoo 2. A great play for the Trojans to keep the Cougs on their side of the field. This game just ended a few minutes ago, and the score is currently the final score of tonight's game was 30-14 USC. Caleb Williams with almost 200 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. USC finishing with 369 total yards and 23 first downs. A tough game for Wazoo.
What a day for Pac-12 play, from a huge win for UCLA and a dominant team sticking all the way through, to the Sun Devils absolutely blowing away Washington fans. But there was one play that stuck out to me, and it probably isn't the best thing Huskies fans have seen all day, but it's my most interesting thing I've seen today. Washington's Phoenix Jr. goes to throw. He'll step back, throws it off the helmet of his O-line, and then the ball's gone. But wait. Wow, there's a defender running. Oh, okay, what? Well, let's talk about this one. How about this time in slow-mo? Phoenix Jr. steps back to pass, and right here, stop, Wolf, where's the ball? Oh, there it is, on the helmet of the lineman. Definitely not an open receiver. Okay, now the cameraman's confused. Where's the ball? Magic trick. Sun Devils, Jordan Clark now has it. Ring, ring, house call. And talk about confusing watching this without slowing it down.
Coming up on college football game night, we're turning over to our NCAA matchups that got fans hyped for October football. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
College football game night, presented by Quality Fence of Southern Oregon. Take your taste buds on a tour with a Newswatch 12 Grapes and Grub Passport card. Enjoy 15 beverages or bites, valued at $225. Yours for only $49.99. On sale now.
Contractors know where to get the best deals on flooring for your home. They'll tell you, No Frills Flooring. Southern Oregon's factory direct warehouse leader for carpet, laminate, hardwood, waterproof plank, and tile. 2 giant warehouses full of flooring from the brands you trust. Mohawk, Shaw, Evoque, and Cortec. Check out NoFrillsFlooring.com. Isn't it time you save like a contractor? No Frills Flooring. Factory direct savings and warehouse selection for contractors. And you too. Medford and Grants Pass.
It's cold and wet outside. This means that your crawl space could be full of moisture, or worse, rodents. Call All Natural Pest Elimination. We'll check your crawl space for free. From day one, we have been your specialists when it comes to rodent issues, dry rot, fungus, termites, and other pest concerns. For years, we've used Natureline, our own safer and more sustainable line of pest control products. Call All Natural Pest Elimination for your free crawl space inspection today. One call gets them all, naturally.
Well, we just wanted to define our property. We got 1.25 acres and just wanted to make it stand out. Also, I think increases the value of our property a lot. Turned out great, very professional. It was outstanding quality and outstanding service.
I feel like we live in a park, and it would be the equivalent of having a Monet unframed. Once you put the fence up, you framed the picture. Couldn't be more beautiful. I wouldn't change a thing.
Quality Fences, doing it right for you.
High school football season is here, and every Friday night, Newswatch 12 gives you a front row seat to Southern Oregon's biggest high school matchups with the Friday Night Blitz Game of the Week on Antenna TV KDRV Classics, presented by Appy's Legendary Pizza.
It's the final days of the reopen fire sale at Golden Gems Fine Jewelry on the Plaza, downtown Ashland. Over $1 million in inventory is priced to sell, and everything must go. Diamonds, wedding sets, earrings, pendants, diamond rings, watches, and more. Everything must go. But hurry in for the best selection during the final days of the reopen fire sale, only at Golden Gems Fine Jewelry on the Plaza, downtown Ashland, or at goldengems.com.
Welcome back to College Football Game Night.
The number 4 Michigan Wolverines headed out to Indiana to take on the Hoosiers today.
An emotional game for Michigan today. The Wolverines have faced some strong tests against Indiana in the past. And today, the nation's 6th best scoring offense struggled once again for the Hoosiers to score. The number 4 ranked Michigan team in Bloomington to take on Indiana, jumping into the first quarter. Blake Corum off the left side, breaks it back and takes it 50 yards to the 1-yard line. Still no score after this play. Then we jump into the first still. Corum takes it in for 1 yard and the house call. Michigan on the board first. Indiana coming back. Corner Berzark completes it to Josh Henderson. He gets in for the 11 yards and a touchdown. We're tied at 7. Now in the third, J.J. McCarthy rolls out, finds Cornelius Johnson. He dives into the end zone for the 29-yard touchdown. Fourth quarter, J.J. McCarthy completes it to Luke Schoonmaker. He takes it 9 yards and dives it in once again for another touchdown. Time-ticking McCarthy finds Johnson again, 6 yards and a final touchdown for Michigan. Michigan extends their unbeaten record to 6-0. J.J. McCarthy going 28 for 36 and passing for over 300 yards. Blake Corum with 25 carries and 124 yards with 1 touchdown. Michigan's running back coach Mike Hart collapsed on the sidelines after suffering from a seizure, and he's still being hospitalized after that.
Hoping for good health for Mike Hart. That is very scary. But let's turn our attention now to the SEC. The number 8 ranked Tennessee Vols went out to Baton Rouge to take on the number 5 ranked LSU Tigers.
A ranked SEC matchup, it doesn't get any better than that. And Tennessee's smoky uniforms called for a great game today.
Yes, they did. The 8th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers visited Death Valley today, looking to tame the number 25 LSU Tigers. First quarter, Paxton Brooks sends the opening kickoff 47 yards, and Jack Betch muffed the football. Patrick Wilk recovers it near the sideline, giving Tennessee possession. First and goal, Jabari Small punches it in for the touchdown. Vols take the 7-0 lead. 2 field goals later, Tennessee up 13-0. Hendon Hooker passes deep down the left sideline to Jalen Hyatt for a 45-yard touchdown. Vols lead 20-0. Tennessee up 23-7. Hendon Hooker finds a gap and breaks through, running for 26 yards to the LSU 14 before taking a clothesline tackle. Hendon Hooker finds Jalen Hyatt on the post route for the 14-yard touchdown, 30-7 Vols. Still in the third quarter, the small run up the middle unscathed for a 5-yard touchdown. Volunteers lead 37-7. And the final out in Death Valley, Tennessee 40-13. Tennessee has no problems today in their win. Hendon Hooker with 17 of 27 for 239 passing yards and 2 touchdowns, and Jaden Daniels with 32 of 45 for 300 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Tennessee is now 5-0 overall this season.
Well, from one SEC matchup to the next, the Auburn Tigers were in the home of the defending national champs today.
Coming into this game, people had their doubts about Georgia. They struggled last week against a Missouri team, so the question was, how would they respond today?
Georgia fans are pumped up for this game. Start off in the second, shall we? Third and goal, Kenny Mintosh on the house for the 1-yard touchdown. Bulldogs on the board first. Still in the second, Dejon Edwards, another 1-yard touchdown for Georgia. Now jumping into the fourth, first and 10, Stenson Bennett finding an open right up the middle, breaking loose. He's going to put those legs to work. Leg day, check. 64-yard touchdown. Georgia continues their lead. First and 5 now, Edwards again hitting the B gap, 5-yard touchdown. Bump it up to 35, Bulldogs. Still in the fourth, second and 10, Robbie Ashford passing it to Hunter. He breaks some tackles. Psych, another 60-plus yard touchdown for Georgia. Geez, I thought we were watching football, not track. Final score, Branson Robinson hits the sidelines, tiptoe in for the 15-yard and a touchdown. Georgia getting a huge win. Well, no worries here for the Bulldogs. Final and anthems. 42-10 Bulldogs. Stenson Bennett went 22 for 32 and threw for over 200 yards. Bennett's scramble of 64 yards for the touchdown carries Georgia to stay undefeated with 6 straight wins.
Bulldogs carrying their college football dominance, but another team is also carrying a chip on their shoulder this season.
Right, Peyton. The Mississippi Bulldogs stayed at home to take on a cooling off Arkansas team. Arkansas started off hot this season, but it looks like they're kind of changing up a little fast.
Just a little bit. Bully the Bulldog takes the field, waving the Jolly Roger, symbolically foretelling the fate that awaited the visiting Arkansas Razorbacks. First and goal on the Arkansas 1, Dylan Johnson punches it in for the touchdown. Bulldogs lead 7-0. Mississippi State up 7-0 in the first quarter still. Will Rogers escapes the pocket and narrowly avoids an interception and finds Jaden Wally for a 5-yard touchdown. Bulldogs lead 14-0. Still in the second quarter, 3rd and 8 on Arkansas's 10, Will Rogers gets out of the pocket and threads a narrow window to Austin Williams, who dives for the touchdown catch. Bulldogs lead 21-0. Malik Hornsby connects with Bryce Stevens for a 54-yard touchdown, and the Bulldogs will lead 27-17. Johnson sheds a couple tacklers and bounces to the outside, diving for the pylon, complete the 30-yard touchdown run. Bulldogs lead 34-10. And the final out in Mississippi State today was 40-17 Bulldogs. Will Rogers threw 5 yards under 400 and had 3 touchdowns. Dylan Johnson carrying the team on his back with 17 carries for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. A blowout win for the Bulldogs, and they go 5-1 on the season.
Wow, almost 400 yards. That's crazy. But you know what's even crazier? A ranked TCU team and a ranked Kansas team going head-to-head today.
Kind of shocking, right? Both teams started today off undefeated, and it's the best start the Horned Frogs have had since 2017.
Go Frogs to that one. Number 19, Kansas hosting number 17, TCU in a battle of unbeaten. Starting in the second quarter, TCU up by 10. Jalen Daniels is hit hard by TCU defenders. He'll remain down on the field, and Daniels won't return. Kansas scores a field goal. to that trial. Now in the third, second string quarterback Jason Bean in for Daniels. Bean hits Mason Fairchild for the 12-yard touchdown. Still in the third, Bean looking, finds Luke Grimm. 8 yards later, he's in for the score. Kansas leads. Now TCU in the lead. But Bean completes a 38-yard touchdown pass to Skinner. We're back to a tied game, and just like Kobe Bean Bryant, 24s. The man of the day, Max Duggan, hits Tay Barber, 25-yard touchdown, and they are not finished. Fourth quarter now, Jason Bean throws 8 incomplete on fourth down. That's enough for TCU. They stay undefeated. Final in Kansas, 31-38, TCU. Max Duggan almost single-handedly carrying the Horned Frogs for the past 4 games and 4 wins. Jason Bean became the first Kansas quarterback to throw for 4 touchdowns in a half since Todd Reesing in 2008. And what a game. TCU remains on top.
Things I'm scared of. Texas teams and Texas Tech made waves in Oklahoma today, but not enough to knock off the number 7 ranked Cowboys.
Hey, everything's bigger in Texas, right? And it must be that way for football scores as well.
Fans lined up their plates at tailgates in Stillwater, where the 7th ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys played and hosted the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Morton throws a perfect strike to Jaron Bradley at the back of the end zone. Red Raiders up 7-0. Spencer Sanders rolls right and finds Bryson Green downfield, and he slips a couple tackles and rolls over another one on his way to the 32-yard touchdown. We're tied at 7. Morton with a free play throws deep down the sideline and connects with Trey Cleveland for a gain of 36 in the first down. Morton hits Xavier White on the receiver screen, and he gets in for the touchdown. Red Raiders take a 21-17 lead. Sanders connects with Brennan Presley for a gain of 23 on this play. 2nd and goal on the 2nd-yard line now. Sanders rolls right and scores on the QB keeper, and we're tied at 31.
Final out in Oklahoma, 41-31 Cowboys. Spencer Sanders was 22 of 45 today. Not too strong of a performance, but he did throw for nearly 300 yards and 1 touchdown. Texas Tech had 1 turnover today, but finished with almost 100 total yards more than the Cowboys. That just comes to show that solid stats don't always equal a win.
And along with my favorite play at SOU, I also have run from another matchup today as well. The TCU Horned Frogs met the Jayhawks in Kansas, and to say that this game was a fun one to watch just doesn't do it a justice. This game was insane. And TCU, coming off a huge win last weekend against Oklahoma, had some momentum coming in to play the number 19 ranked Kansas Jayhawks. Let's check out my favorite play from this matchup. In the fourth quarter, scores tied at 31. Max Duggan finds Quentin Johnson for a 24-yard score to take the lead. And I mean, check out that replay. An amazing throw from Duggan and an even better catch from Quentin. That play will give TCU their winning touchdown, putting them at 5-0 overall this season.